North Carolina has apparently decided that it no longer wants to be the unofficial sort of home of child marriage in the United States. There's this proposed legislation that would raise the minimum marriage age from 14 to 16 and limit the age difference between a 16-year-old and their spouse to 4 years. The combination of those two things needing to be changed are terrifying. But anyway, the legislation needs one more Senate vote before heading to Democratic Governor Roy Cooper's desk, probably this week, where it's likely to be signed into law. Don't understand why that's so controversial, but I'm not from North Carolina. Anyway, Drew Reisinger, the Register of Deeds in Buncombe County, which I'm almost certainly mispronounced, can't wait to find out how, said the county, which includes the popular tourist city of Asheville, is a destination for many adults and child brides from nearby states such as Georgia, Kentucky, South Carolina, and Tennessee, all of which have raised the minimum marriage age in recent years. In fact, 2/3 of the marriage applications in that county last year involved at least one person under 18, originated from people who live outside of North Carolina, so people are traveling there for it. There was one 49-year-old who went in with a 17-year-old recently from Kentucky. In that state, North Carolina is now one of 13 that allow children under 16 to wed. We've got more details, we'll go into it, but Michael, this seems like a thing that they need to catch up on. Seems really weird when people are traveling to your state just so they can marry a kid.
I would have raised it a little more and lowered that difference a little bit too. Or raised that difference a little bit. Why are they complaining that the 49-year-old and the 17-year-old aren't going to be coming to their state anymore? I think that's great news that avoid that, right?
That is true. I don't know. Sometimes I question things and I wonder whether I'm going to be considered intolerant or whatever. But is there any conceivable argument for a 49-year-old and a 17-year-old to get married that is not what we immediately think of when we hear it? Can you?
Of course not. There's no reason at all, and it shouldn't be. But by the way, they still could with this, right? Because it's going up from 14 to 16.
That's true. I don't know where that. Yeah, I guess it's just a 16-year-old that would have that limit of 4 years. Hey, look, they're still open-minded. Anyway,
so the 48-year-old with the 16-year-old would still be fine too. It's just
that's true. Would have to wait.
16-year-old would have to wait. Yeah.
I don't understand our country. I don't understand some of the things that have carried on. That's just crazy. That's just I know.
There are these old crazy laws on so many states' books, but what I'm saying here is they didn't change it enough. This is like if you're going to change it and you're going to do it and you're going to try and get Governor Cooper to sign it, change it to like 18. It's fine.
Well, and by the way, like I think it's a very reasonable thing to say. Okay, so you're saying it should be 17 is weird, but it's 18 in a lot of places, so I guess that's not weird. No, I'm not really fundamentally just talking about the law here. I get that at some point there has to be a limit, and I don't know what number that limit would have to be for the 49-year-old to not seem weird. It would be a hell of a lot higher than 18. I get that people at 18 are considered to be adults or whatever, but it still does seem very weird. I mean, when you have a thing where it's not even that like, is there? Yes, I was just going to assume it was a man. No, it was a man. It's not even a thing where he could be her father. It would be weird if he was her father at that point. Like that's pretty old even to be your father. That's almost grandfather territory at that point there.
No, it's not. I disagree. But it's
okay.
It's that I don't agree with. But it's it's certainly putting a dent in North Carolina's pervert tourism, and I think that's good. They just should have put a bigger dent in it. That age difference is unconscionable.
Good, and my math may be off there, but anyway, the whole thing just makes me uncomfortable. North Carolina's got to improve. And by the way, if it does, when this goes through, I'm sure they'll find a new tourist destination for it. I don't know. We got to change our culture in a lot of ways. It's not something that we're going to solve in one state with one piece of legislation in one day, but we got to improve.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.